Namaskaram, fellow seekers of truth and wisdom. Get ready to unlock the secret of spiritual sadhana and profound concept of allowing grace to unfold in your life. Today's video, Sadhguru sheds light on the difference between mere action and the sublime experience of grace. Discover how even the simplest task like baking bread requires a delicate balance of doing and allowing things to happen. We will learn that true fulfillment comes not from relentless action, but from surrendering to flow of grace. Prepare to inspired as Sadhguru invite us to walk gently with wonder and devotion on the path of life. Through his timeless wisdom, we uncovered the key to open the door of life and experiencing the boundless blessing of grace. So get ready to embrace the magic of spiritual awakening. Join us as we explore the profound teaching of Sadhguru and unlock the infinite potential that lies within, and fall into the lap of grace and discover a new dimension of existence.
So grace is that dimension of life which is holding everything together. When we say grace, because the word has been used by religious groups for a long time, immediately you think we are talking about something God, grace, God's grace. No, I'm not talking about God's grace, I'm just talking about grace in which even God should exist. Even if you think you're a God, you have to exist in the grace because the very planet, the solar system exists in this. So this force, which keeps everything together, somebody was trying to explain, it is simplistic, but you can look at it this way. See, an apple fell down and Isaac Newton got excited. It is an observation. It is not any kind of a scientific, it is not a law by any means. There is no mathematical basis to it even today. All kinds of calculations have been done, but nobody has arrived at it. It is only an observation, which you could observe if you just fall off 5 feet ledge, you will clearly observe, you only fall down. But an apple fell, but the whole tree was growing up, nobody noticed that. So there is something which is functioning in the universe without which you cannot exist. The grace of yoga, we should have said yoga of grace, but it's the grace of yoga is that you make yourself in such a way that you become more available to grace than gravity. If you're available to gravity, you will become a creature on the planet, nothing wrong. Just limited, that's all. Is there something wrong with a grasshopper, with an earthworm, with a cockroach, with the sparrow? Is there something wrong? Nothing wrong. They're wonderful life by themselves. Just limited, that's all. Limited possibility. The significance of being human is, the possibilities have expanded in a massive way compared to an earthworm. That is the significance. But all those people who are committed to security in their life, security is the only aspect, the core aspect of their life. Their choice of what they're doing in their life, security decides that. Their choice of who they marry, security decides that. Their choice of how many children they have, security decides that. Their choice of what they do today or not do today, security decides that. Then when you're too concerned about physical survival, then you are in camaraderie with the grasshopper. Now, grasshopper is having fun, That also you think is dangerous. Earthworm, but earthworm is very eco-friendly, you're not, that's the problem. So, grace of yoga means becoming available to the grace. Grace is always there, otherwise this existence cannot be. For lack of English words, we are using grace. So, to become more available to that, so that your life feels elevated, small concerns are no more concerns for you. Today, what I eat, where I sleep, what happens, what is going to happen, what's not going to happen, is not of a concern to you. Today, how I am, How profound is my experience of life? This becomes your concern when there is grace. This is something that people have been struggling with for ages, because these are two different types. These are two different dimensions of one's existence. These two dimensions are about doing something, making something happen, and allowing something to happen to you. These are two different aspects. So now the question is, which is more, which is less? Can I do it all? Or there's nothing I can do, I have to just allow it? If you are capable of just allowing it, that would be very good for you. But if you are the kind who just allows things to happen to you, do not expect people around you to understand anything about you, because they will not understand. People around you cannot understand what it means to allow. Doing is something that they understand, but doing is a limited possibility. And doing is a very laborious process. It's like, if I want to bake bread, how much of it do you do? How much of it do you allow? There is an equal proportion of both. If you do not knead it hard enough, if you do not work to load the oven properly, if you do not set the right temperatures, which is all you're doing, it's not going to happen. But if you're not willing to allow, that you're willing to close it and simply sit there like a pregnant woman. Yes, baking, if you do not know how to bake bread, it is all as complicated as bearing a child. Yes, you have to sit there and wait. If you're too much of a doer, you want to open every few moments and look at it, you will not have bread, you will have something else. This goes for baking bread, growing a plant, bringing up a child, or bringing yourself up, which is, you're realizing is the hardest task. That if you want to bring yourself up, there's a certain amount of striving and doing on your part to be done. But without allowing, it will be an extraordinarily difficult process and incomplete process for a very long time to come. So both are needed. If both have entered your life at the same time, you must consider yourself to be an extremely fortunate human being, whether you understand the fortune or not. Because there are people who for lifetimes are just doing without grace being available to them. There are people who are just waiting for grace to happen, not doing anything because they do not know what to do, doing their own little things without doing the right kind of thing to become open to the process. So these two kind of people exist everywhere in the world. Some are waiting for gods to do things for them. Some are trying to do everything by themselves. You are an extremely fortunate human being if action and receptivity both have come into your life at the same time. That you know how to perform action, everything that you can do, you will do, but you have the sense and the gracefulness to sit and wait for that which you cannot do. So, it is that dimension, it is this combination of these two that we are effectively delivering through Isha Yoga. That people learn to do something about themselves, at the same time, people learn the humility of waiting, the devotion. Devotion is needed, otherwise one cannot wait. If you do not look up to something, you cannot wait. So to be able to do everything that's needed, having the necessary tools and the empowerment to do things about your life, at the same time having the necessary sense and grace to wait and be able to receive, both these things need to happen. So if the question is pushed a little further, The question could be, can't I do it myself? So, self-help books sometimes have done things for people, good things for people. A lot of times they only injured themselves, broke things up, broke situations up in your life, because self-help is not always the right thing. But is it something that you don't do? No, you must do. So a combination of both is best. If you push one too far, you may lose your grounding. If you push your receptivity too far, not doing anything, you do not even know whether you're being receptive or just being lazy. If you try to do everything yourself, not allowing anything to be received, then it's like a plant which is trying to grow without sunlight. It will grow, but pale. It will not produce any flower or fruit. It'll be a long time before it can produce anything. So we need a combination of both. The kriyas, the practices are a phenomenal way to prepare the system to be open to new possibilities. If your energies do not open up to new possibilities, then you're talking about a long drawn-out journey. To become open is the most important thing. So just believing that I'm open and not doing anything about it is no good. There are lots of very open people, if you say one word, tomorrow they'll be gone. They believe they're very open. Even me, if I make as much as one comment about them, tomorrow they'll be gone. That open they are. So openness has to be tested with your commitment of time and effort. How open you are, you have to prove every day to yourself and to the existence. By every day putting in that much, I'm this open, I'm willing to give my this much of time and commitment, I'm that open. So your sadhana is a tool for opening you up and also a test for your openness, both ways. So these are inseparable, you cannot separate them. If you separate it, it is an unrealistic separation which does not work, largely does not work. There may be a devotee who does nothing, who just sits and receives it. But as I said, if you become all receptivity, it may be wonderful for you, but you won't know whether you're going forward or backward, that's one thing. Another thing is nobody would want to be around you, that's another thing. It's already so.
If you really want to be in the lap of grace, what is needed from you is you walk like a devotee, not in pretension, not a pretentious devotee. As I said earlier, you do not know how this tree actually functions. You do not know how this blade of grass happens. You do not know how anything here is working. Do you know? No. So I want you to look at everything. Everything seems to be little more intelligent than you. When you are so dumb, when you see a tree, if you see the mountain, the blade of grass, everything, I want you to look at them for who they are, for what they are. No, my body is also… that is fine, your body is super. Your body is doing many things that you do not know. You as a person, what do you know? Do you know even what this blade of grass knows about life? You do not know. So I want you to look at everything, even a grain of sand. It knows a lot more than you about life. So you are a junior here. They were all here way before you, and they know much more than you about life. So I want you to walk with a certain sense of wonder and devotion at everything. Just try this for next 24 hours. That's all that's needed. This is all that is needed to open the doors of life. That you do not think too much of yourself. You do not think something about you which is not true. Whatever you think about yourself is very untrue. Because when it comes to basic life, what this soil knows, you do not know, isn't it? Yes? Generally, in America they call soil dirt. What this dirt knows, you do not know. Your brain cannot do what this soil is doing. Is it a fact? Is it a fact? So, when there are such big people, stalwarts around you, you walk gently, understand? Don't go like this, because they are not simple. If you just walk like this, if you walk with devotion, slowly you will fall into the lap of grace. Without this, spiritual path is a damn hard thing to do. What I have been through, I don't want anybody to go through. That's why the effort.
Thank you for joining us on this profound journey of exploration and wisdom with Sadhguru. As Sadhguru beautifully puts in, that if we approach life with gentle stride, a sense of wonder and devotion, we gradually open ourselves to the embrace of grace. It is the key to unlocking the doors of life and experiencing its fullness. We hope that this discussion has ignited a sense of curiosity and wonder within you, inspiring you to delve deeper into the profound teachings of Sadhguru. We invite you to join us again on this channel for more enlightening conversation and explorations. There is a wealth of wisdom waiting to be uncovered, and we look forward to sharing with you. Remember, it's not just about subscribing or liking the video, but it's about your journey of self-discovery and transformation. So until we meet again, walk gently, stay curious, and let the flow of life guide you. Thank you for being a part of this journey with Sadhguru. Namaskaram.